Barrasso.
Well, thanks, Mr. Chairman. Chief Moore, 63 million acres of our national forest, high or very high risk of wildfire right now. Past year, agency treated fewer than 4 million of those 63 million acres. Your agency plans this coming year to treat even less than that. It has 63 million, last time 4 million, now less than that this year with a budget, more and more money going, getting less and less. At this declining rate, it's going to take your agency about 2 decades just to treat all the high-risk areas within our national forest today, but trees are going to continue to grow. Is this really a credible strategy, with all the money that's been moved to the Forest Service, a credible strategy to address this wildfire crisis that Congress is clearly behind the efforts financially to help commit to get done?
Yeah, you know, Senator Barrasso, I think that we're at a crossroads in this country, and I think a part of it is that for the last 100 years, we measured our performance on acres treated. And I think what the wildfire crisis strategy has given us an opportunity to do is take a look and see, is that the right metric for performance? And when you look at how this country has changed over the last 100 years since the Forest Service's existence, the #1 land use in this country is wildland-urban interface development. And so that has had an impact on the national forest because you have a lot of communities that are sitting adjacent to and right next to national forests. And so we have to ask ourselves, and I would love to dig deeper into this with you and this committee, what is the appropriate performance level? Is it acres treated or is it the right acres treated? And if our job is to protect communities from wildfires, we have to look at outcome-based reporting rather than output-based reporting, or at least the combination of the two. And so the outcome would be, did we protect the community from the risk of wildfire?
Well, we haven't been doing a very good job of protecting against wildfire. I mean, to me, this seems just a complete lack of urgency by your department in dealing with all of this. If you don't like the results, then you change the metrics. That's ridiculous. But that's ridiculous. We don't like the results. We have more and more wildfires. We had a hearing in Washington State about what was happening a number of years ago. It doesn't seem to be improving. It doesn't seem to get better at all, in spite of a massive additional expenditure of taxpayer money. We're not to say we're going to change the way the metrics is absolutely ridiculous. So Nyman Enterprises announced layoffs and the shift reduction at its Spearfish Forest Products facility. I understand that the owner, Jim Nyman, did everything possible to avoid the layoffs. These layoffs are a direct result of reductions to the timber sale program for the Black Hills National Forest. What's the agency doing to help retain the remaining forest products infrastructure in the Black Hills?
Yeah, you know, as I indicated earlier, we've invested about $79 million specifically to sawmills, and we've worked directly with Mr. Lyman and his facility. As a matter of fact, when we look at the Timber Transport Authority, it originated in order to help him. So we moved timber from Northern California over to Wyoming to his facility. There are market-driven conditions that are not coming into play during these discussions. And it's multiple reasons why the industry is going through a transition now, and it's not just Forest Service supply. It's market-driven conditions. It's the cost of labor that's continuing to increase. It's the lack of labor shortages. It's a number of things that's contributing to these facilities.
We're not having a labor shortage. We're having a job shortage as a result of these decisions that have been made. So I find the answer unacceptable. Another question. Commissioners from Carbon County and Johnson County, Wyoming, wrote to you specifically, I have a copy of the letter, opposing the Forest Service's plan for old growth areas on our national forest. Mr. Chairman, I ask unanimous consent to put this in the record.
Without objection.
Both counties asked to be made a cooperating agency. These requests were made in January and February. When can they expect to receive a response?
Well, so I'm not aware of specifically what you're talking about, but I will look into that, Senator, and get back with you on that.
Okay, so will you agree to make these counties a cooperating agency?
I can't say that without looking at what they're requesting because, you know, when you look at what do they mean when they say a cooperating agency? And so we would want to dig into that to see specifically what they mean by that. There's a little C and a big C.
Because the concern clearly is that the Forest Service is drafting the old growth plan without state input, without local input, and that's why I have a bill that would stop the disastrous proposal. My final question, Mr. Chairman, is, Chief Moore, you talk a lot about the abundance of low and no value material in our national forests. The agency's own data also shows an abundance of large diameter, high-value material in our national forests. Since 2021, Congress has given the Forest Service a massive infusion of taxpayer dollars. How is it that timber harvests in our national forests are today below what they were 6 years ago in 2018?
You know, actually, Senator, since 2002, we've seen a gradual increase in the amount of timber that's removed, as well as the number of acres that's treated. So I would say, and I have a chart here that would show you the increase from 2002 all the way into 2023. And so we are seeing a slight increase over that period of time, not a decrease.
Well, I'm just going to point the last 6 years.
Well,
2018 down to where they are now.
I would go all the way back to the 80s, where...
Go back to America wasn't discovered. We weren't harvesting anything, and now we got all the way up, but now we're dropping down in spite of the massive amount of... Mr. Chairman, my time is up.
You done?
I'm done. I got to be...